Developer Report, April 7th. Today I worked a long day, had a couple hours of working a separate thing, and then today focused on the store. So I did some work in Figma previously, which I'll put on screen. So this is the match screen, it's getting mocked. And then this is the store screen, which has a prototype. And you can filter by category, see information about it, buy, see if you can afford it, etc. Already in place was the Stripe functionality to purchase using a card. It's in sandbox mode at the moment. So that was mocked. And then here it's now implemented. And the first thing that I did was how images is loaded is annoying. So I used to have to keep these different JSONs of different asset types for them to have different prefixes, and then would separate them out into things that were sprite sheets where it might have two different frames to it, such as this character emoting. And this was a mess. So now there's a script that runs when you build that generates that from your file structure. And you can, in your file structure, have subfolders with dimensions, which means that that will be a sprite sheet with those dimensions. And now there's also store pages for each of these, both a preview and a full-sized image. You can choose between categories. The list of store items is standardized well. There's cost. For now, it's just gems. There's a description. And something that's missing is the store in the future will send you a list of featured items instead of it just being all of the items are featured, or that being hard coded. Maybe that's unnecessary because you can just push an update instead of, but that results in downtime. There's better choices I could make around that. So a new table that I added was a cosmetics table, which has like a timestamp, an associated player ID, has its own ID, uh, and then the cosmetic ID. And that's how you check which cosmetics you have. Currently, none of these have like the equip UI, they just show up in the game. But you can run through the process of purchasing gems, of spending those gems on items, and then those are owned for your account. So here I can process, this is going to be um, a fake card that universally works because it's sandbox mode. And now I have more gems for my account. As I spend gems here, it's immediately reflected, and I now own this cosmetic. So that happened, and then in parallel, there was artwork going on that was refining some of the in-game cosmetics. Recently, it's been the border, this little relic that grows, and then the sun is being revisited. So this area on the right of the screen is one of the main like focuses. It's good that this draws your attention, and then the cards in your hand are one of the main focuses, and then cards in the story. But this previously had really long tendrils, and it took up a lot of the screen without really adding much functionality. And you'll also see that there's now a past cloud. We've tried that in a number of orientations, but the new artwork and the new color, I think, looks a lot better. And it is kind of like borderless. It kind of blends in with the sun. So I'm curious how people experience this because it might seem like, is it that I've passed? Once you've played for a couple minutes, you'll see that the opponent has passed. And there's another cloud for when I've passed. Anyways, yeah, I worked more than 12 hours today on this.